In 2000, Act 228 made medical cannabis legal in Hawaii. Today, medical cannabis patients and their caregivers are still prosecuted by the state of Hawaii.
The chemists press the pills while the hippies in the hills plant the next generation, grow the next strain.
We are the hiccup in the system. We're not going to stand silent. We're going to fix this, and we're going to do whatever it takes to make these guys stop picking on medical cannabis users.
We've got those hippies in the hills and them doctors scripting pills down in the valley below. Grab your horse and you're a vaporizer. Come on, let's go.
So, being a hemp activist for a long time, one of the earlier part of my life, when I had little children, I moved from the city to the country and made my life very simple. And we pretty well followed more of an indigenous philosophy or belief system. And so for 35 years we lived there and had our children, we raised them and schooled them at home. And then we moved here 20 years ago. Before we moved here, I already had a license to use marijuana medically. I had skin cancers and was successful in treating them. So when it became legal here, I applied for a license. But in the same time, I had met many people here on the island, and we had joined in a cause, we called it Peaceful Sky. And it ended up being called Ballot Question 1. And from an initiative movement, we got enough signatures to put on the ballot the lowest police priority would be busting nothing less than 24 plants on private property for adults only, or 24 ounces. And this ballot was put on by the county legislature, and it won by 10,000 votes and was failed to put into effect. And so we drug on and on and on, getting more and more medical marijuana people busted. So it hasn't really been that good of a success here. It's been an entrapment. Anyway, I met Mike Rose in this time and many other people, and every time there would be a Green Harvest testimony day, we would show up. We first showed up in front of the council. My wife and I and family all got busted by the county for the use of marijuana. So we all ended up with a cellular experience of justice in jail. But when we came out of jail, we decided that we were not victims, that we had been chosen. And so we went to the county council and we said, here we are. This is us, the people that you've been busting. What do you think of us? And so we appeared time and again with Roger Christy and others. So it was quite a miracle that Devaki and I escaped the Roger Christy entrapment, because we had worked closely with him, but only on the political thing. So this gives you some more background about myself. People like me do not quit what they believe in. So many of us have paid so much to express the truth about this earth, because the good thing is that we know that in 1937 it was a conspiracy that made this plant illegal. And now, the good thing and the good news is that those who know it better admit it, inform the public of their mistake, and fix what they have caused. We ask now for this herb to be allowed to show its face to the sun again. It handles making oxygen better than any other plant, and is really the only chance of reversing the greenhouse effect is to use this plant at its fullest. So marijuana has been a long time issue in my life. I have been arrested twice for it, but as I said, we were chosen this time. Where I was told while I was handcuffed, not by the police, but by a voice, that this was for the public. It wasn't about me. And so I went through it, and Lucky and I went for I think 4 or 5 years, every month. Continuance, 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 continuance. And we could not get anybody to defend us. All the lawyers would do was walk us across the room and say we're guilty. And so I went through 4 lawyers. And finally, after holding us hostage and charging with me with 121 years and my wife with 100, the charges were suddenly reduced to 50 hours of community service, $50 for paying for some tests. And so I found someone who had a nonprofit and I could work with and served my little public service. But really, the person who worked this off with me said, "Greywolf, you've already done your public service." Just by standing in front of the public. My wife and I don't present a dangerous image. And so we were very successful, Roger Christy. We believe that Roger Christy has been punished because of his political activities as well as doing things against their laws of prohibition. I want it made very clear that the laws of prohibition pretend to be needed. And this herb is the most giving herb and most allied to the human experience on earth. Please, we must become peaceful people. All of us have been stricken by broken lives. We need a healing. Open the doors so it can happen.
Got those hippies in the hills and them doctors scripting pills down in the valley below. Grab your horse and your flask and your baby rice. Come on, let's go.